Please stand. Please sit down. Hi, Jacob, and welcome. We come together to remember today, to remember sacrifices, to remember and acknowledge the impact that all conflict and war has on different cultures. Different cultures are all represented today in this chapel. And let's be cognizant of all cultures sharing similar feelings through tragic times. There's a shared sense of loss and heartbreak through families that are affected directly or indirectly. Let's also recognize and acknowledge that this ceremony is taking place on the traditional and unceded territory of the Cowichan people. And remember that part of this nation's history involves indigenous peoples living for thousands of years on these lands and also contributing to the war efforts of this country. Please stand while we sing for Canada.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place.
And in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below.
We are the dead, ago we lived,
felt on,
saw sunset glow,
loved and were loved.
and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith, with us who die we shall not sleep,
though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Dear Lieutenant J.S. Sutherland, my name is Marama. I'm in 6th grade at Queen Margaret School. I have two sisters, a twin and a younger sister. We are researching veterans like you to show appreciation of the service that you gave Canada. While researching you with my classmate Sophia, I learned that you fought in the Canadian Scottish Regiment in battles such as the Normandy landing on D-Day. You were born in 1910 and you died in 1955. Sadly, we couldn't find anything else about you, so we researched your regiment instead. I learned that the motto of the regiment is Dies du Cat, ready for the fray. Your colors were red, blue, and green, and your uniform was a tartan kilt. The regiment originated in Victoria, and the symbol is a white cross with banners saying the Canadian Scottish and Dies du Cat with a crown on top. Also on the symbol is a wreath of 16 maple leaves representing service to Canada. I learned that 4 members of the regiment received the Victoria Cross, the highest badge of bravery and courage. I don't know for sure, but maybe one of those people fought with you? My favorite fact that I learned is that in 1939, a St. Bernard dog named Wallace went with the regiment to Devereux, Nova Scotia. You would have been 29, so you probably were there. I think a friendly dog would have been like a miracle to you. I'm so grateful for how much you have done for Canada. It's amazing how Canada hasn't changed because of our veterans. Thank you so much for all the service you have given us. Canada won't forget. Rest in peace. Thank you for your service, Martha.
Dear Mr. Waddy, my name is Chelsea and I attend Queen Margaret School in Duncan. I am writing this letter to you about recognizing local veterans who fought in World War I and World War II. My great-grandmother, Margaret McKenzie, who was a war veteran, soldier away from fact, they knew each other and were good friends. Margaret was a driver in World War II for the high-ranking officers in the Royal Air Force. Often, she would take them to plane crash sites around England. At one of these sites is where she met my great-grandfather Arthur, who was serving with the Royal Canadian Air Force. My Aunt Rhonda recently served in Afghanistan with the Canadian Army. In my research, I learned that you fought in World War II with the Royal Canadian Army. Also, how you landed on the Blue Beach of Dieppe on August 19, 1942. Unfortunately, you were captured and taken to a prisoner of war camp. You were forced to march 482 kilometers to the prisoner of war camp, chained together with other people. On this march, many soldiers never made it to the destination. At the camp, you escaped 3 times over the 3 years you were there. I found it interesting that you were a sergeant in the war and how your job was to bring down planes dropping bombs over the English Channel out of the sky. In addition, you met your wife Audrey and were stationed at Gatwick Airport, and after the war, you both settled in Honeymoon Bay and raised your family. I could not even imagine going through what you have done for Canada, and thank you for helping make our country free. I am proud of what all the veterans did in World War I and II. Thank you for everything you have done for our country. I will think about you, my great-grandparents, my aunt, and all veterans this November 11th at the Denny's Duncan Cenotaph. Sincerely, Chelsea.
Dear Mr. Kenneth, my name is Arabella and I am 11 years old and in grade 6 at Queen Margaret School. My great-grandfather, Frank Andrews, served in the British Army between World War I and World War II. He joined the Army on May 19, 1921, when he was 18 and served in the East Surrey Regiment in Egypt, Hong Kong, and India. Frank left the Army before the beginning of the Second World War and worked for Royal Dalton. On March 30th, 1929, he married Edith Barrett and had 2 children. Jean, born in 1930, and my grandfather Anthony, born 1934. During World War II, Anthony and his sister Jean were evacuated from their home in London. At the age of 42, Frank lost his life while he was on a bus during a bombing raid in London. During my research, I learned that you were a driver in World War I. You risked your life when driving teams of horses who were pulling guns. Born on October 5th, 1877, in Wye, England, you married Mrs. Alice May Kennett and had 3 children. You fractured your tibia while playing football and stayed in hospital from December 11th to December 13th. The company you served in was the Canadian Field Artillery, 62nd Battalion in the Canadian Expeditionary Force. Your regimental number was 332802. At the age of 84, you passed away. It is important to remember the veterans who fought in the war because they put their lives in danger to protect our country. They served our country proudly. Many of the men who left their homes never came back. Young men bravely stepped forward to fight for their families. Their families were heartbroken. You shaped how Canada is today. Thank you. Sincerely, Arabella.
It's particularly wonderful when we can bring the whole school together like this on occasions such as these, and everyone contributes through their participation and being here together. So I'd just like to thank the kindergartens and the grade 1s and the grade 2s for being here this morning, and I invite you to follow the lead of your teachers as you depart. Thank you.
for the fallen. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
Ian Sunderland, Rawson Stewart, Richard Slee, Leslie Punnett, Gordon French, William Powell, Donald French, Miles Neal, Michael Martin,
Desmond Martin, Patrick Mainguy, Albert Kyle, Andrew Johnston, John Hopkins, David Crane, Jackie Davey, Douglas Craig.
Stratton Thompson, Richard Bezin, Anne Lundgren Staples, Nesta Ellis, Harry Williams Reagan, John Powell, Kathleen Townsend, Patricia Fish, Paul Aldersey, Dennis Collison,
Harold Charles Worth, Harold Bischlager, Edwin Fleischer, Murray Creighton, Michael Dwyer, Trevor Hoey, Arthur Mellon, Dorothy Price, Joan Sullivan, Michael Angel Jones.
Donald Forrest, Gordon Marshall, Conrad Swan, Alan Dunlop, Davis Savage, Diana Spencer, Norman Stone, Paul Stone, Peter Stone.
Douglas Firth,
Anthony Mollier, Penelope Bailey, Arlene King, Molly Barber Starkey, Doris Fishwater, Molly McKenzie, Keith McKenzie, Annette Mitchell, Esme Mutter Day.
Barbara Jackson, Kara Sneaky, Grace Lambourne, Margaret Campbell, Diana Cullen, Sherry Cooper, Dorothy Duncan, Joyce Gooding, Priscilla Runkle, Biddy Swain, Penelope Stockley,
Gladys Hancock, Margaret Harper, Nancy Hayward, Joyce Frampton, Joan Taylor, Joy Hobson, Jane Hutchins, Sylvia Marlowe, Betty Fall, Barbara Tom.
Pamela Christie, Phyllis Walker, Anne Proctor, Margaret Morford, Anne Moore, Nancy Emerton, Rosemary Bradley Dine, Jill Humphreys, Betty Booth, Doreen Smith.
Phyllis Worsley, Marjorie McBean, Mary Patton, Peggy Palmer, Penny Redden, Shirley Gooding, Jocelyn Ragnan, Isabel Peck, and Charles Hogan, recipient of the Victoria Cross, the highest and most prestigious award that can be awarded to British and Commonwealth forces for gallantry in the face of the enemy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes another very special ceremony. This morning was a perfect example of what we subscribe to, well, I hope we all subscribe to, which is if you're going to do something, do it properly and do it well. And we've honored all of these people who made sacrifices, gave their lives for freedom, and we've honoured them appropriately and well. Thank you all for the dignity that you brought to this morning's service. A particular thanks to our choirs and our musicians who, again, make all these occasions so very special, ably led by Ms. Lawrence and of course Ms. Townsend. So thank you. We can applaud now, actually. And thank you to all the readers and presenters. A huge thank you to Mr. Monroe and his marvellous team that put all of this together. So let's give them a round of applause. And of course, with unashamed bias, given my accent and heritage, I'm going to invite Dr. Peter Leckie, who graces us every year for this event and brings that very special touch to it. So I'm going to invite him forward to pipe the head of school out.